Today we bring to you a report on what to do in case of heavy rain. There's nothing like preparation when it comes to torrential downpour. Isn't that right?
That's right. You must turn off your gas and electricity and quickly evacuate from areas vulnerable to flash flooding.
What should we do if we are already outside?
Evacuate to a safe place, away from construction sites, underground spaces, and areas prone to frequent flooding. If you're driving, do not stop the car. Instead, slowly drive through the flooded area without stopping.
What should we do once the rain stops?
When going into buildings that have been submerged, do not touch electrical facilities and make sure to ventilate, as there is a risk of gas leakage.
We should also reduce preventable damages and prepare for disasters ahead of time by following safety guidelines.
That is correct. You can receive real-time safety information through the Disaster Safety Information mobile app, 안전 디딤돌.
Thank you for all the great information. Remember, your safety is everyone's safety. This campaign is brought to you by BIFF 부산영어방송.
지금 방송 광고라는 부메랑을 던져보세요. 소비자를 향해 정확히 날아가는 광고. 힘차게 돌아가는 경제. 부메랑처럼 다시 기업의 이익으로 되돌아오니까요. 방송 광고, 경제에 큰 힘이 됩니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
I'm going to begin the show with a trigger warning because today's opening is about suicide, and I do apologize. Yesterday, President Lee Jae-myung, in a meeting with senior aides, spoke about South Korea's persistently high suicide rate as a social disaster, 사회적 재난, and called for a quote-unquote complete paradigm shift. This comes on the heels of that news that the young firefighter who had been on site at the Itaewon crowd crush was found dead recently in a suspected suicide, and we reported on the story. Well, according to a Korea Times story published yesterday, there was another firefighter, age 44, who was found dead of apparent suicide late last month. He had also been dispatched to Itaewon and had even filed for government-sanctioned occupational injury treatment due to PTSD, but had been denied. So, I love giving you these questions in the morning. Are we doing enough? Are we taking care of our own? I'm talking about our firefighters, police officers, and first responders. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Friday, August 22nd on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, Wavers. Welcome to our program on this Friday morning. Once again, I do apologize for starting the show with such a serious topic, but I just felt like it really needed to be addressed. We're going to pivot away from that and talk about something else now. There is this remote town in rural Wyoming. That's a state in the U.S. And that becomes the center of global attention maybe once a year. It's called Jackson Hole, and it's home to the U.S. Federal Reserve's annual symposium, which is a point of great interest for global markets and economists everywhere. And this is where Fed Chair Jerome Powell will make a speech on the outlook for interest rates and where the U.S. economy may be headed. This speech, which will come Friday morning local time or late tonight for us, is of even more interest this year. So it comes amid mixed signals from the U.S. labor market and inflation and increasing pressure from President Donald Trump for the Fed to lower rates. The symposium comes as the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, has decided to freeze rates in July due to lower than expected jobs report last month. And of course, the U.S. Fed Reserve's benchmark interest rate is important for South Korea as well, as the Bank of Korea factors in this rate in its decision too. Pretty much anything linked to the U.S. dollar, including benchmark borrowing rates and currency rates, are affected by this, and by extension, by Chairman Powell's upcoming speech. And the theme of this year's symposium is Labor Market in Transition, Demographics, Productivity, and Macroeconomic Policy. So whether we're talking about the U.S. labor market or the global market at large, this could not come at a more pertinent time, and the world will definitely be watching. All right, it is time for our text topic. Well, later on in hour number 2, we have Talk Busan, the film edition. That's coming up in hour number 2. So in preparing for that, here's our text topic for this Friday morning. What is a movie, a film that you can quote almost in its entirety? Okay, so maybe that's an exaggeration, not quoting the entire movie, but you've watched it so many times and you love it, so you can, drop lines from that film. What is that movie? 자, 한신 모든 대사가 거의 다 기억나는 영화는 뭘까요? Ooh, I'm so curious. Let's hear it. Let's get your thoughts on this. You can send in your opinions to BFM's live stream live chat on YouTube. So go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or 부산영어방송, and you can subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers. Also from your phone, pound 9050 샵 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free through Kakao Talk. So search for BEFM 부산영어방송 to add us as a friend first, and then you can send in your messages and photos too. All right, so the ways you can tune in to us, 90.5 or 103.3 FM. That's on the radio if you are in Busan. And you can watch us on YouTube right now. We're streaming live or watch again at your leisure. We're available on the BEFM app and also, yes, the Popang app as well. Let's talk about our morning together. It's Friday. We have Casey coming in for Foreign Press Highlights. And then remember, in hour number 2, we're going to have a panel in the studio live for Talk Busan Film City Edition. It's going to be so fun, a lot of fun, really interesting. So definitely tune in for the entire 2 hours. And I'll be back with news overview. It's now 7:06 and this is News Overview. Foreign Minister departs suddenly for Washington. Foreign Minister Cho Hyun has departed for Washington yesterday, bypassing his scheduled trip to Japan, with President Lee Jae-myung raising speculations about an unexpected situation ahead of the U.S. summit. Foreigners to face new home buying restrictions in capital area. The Land Ministry yesterday announced that foreign nationals may not buy homes in the capital area unless it is for actual residents as part of efforts to curb speculative investments. Court issues arrest warrant for shaman Gunjin. The Seoul Central Court yesterday approved the special counsel's arrest warrant request for Chun Sung-bae, also known as the shaman Gunjin, citing a risk of him attempting to destroy evidence. Bill Gates calls on South Korea to gradually increase ODA spending. Microsoft founder and Gates Foundation chair Bill Gates yesterday called on South Korea to gradually raise its development aid spending to reach 0.5% of its economy. Russia launches massive airstrike offensive against Ukraine. Russia has launched over 500 drones and 40 missiles in Ukraine in one of the heaviest strikes in weeks, as efforts to stop the war are ongoing. And this was News Overview. It's time for Now in Busan. We have Sejin in the studio. Let's say hi first. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday is meant to be a good day.
Yes, always on a Friday. So, well, later on in hour number 2, like I said, we're going to have Talk Busan, our film city edition. But I want to know, is there a particular film that like you've watched so many times, you've kind of memorized it by heart?
I'm kind of a person who never rewatched a movie.
You only watch things once.
Yeah. But though I have to say, I
Yes.
have the Days in Oxford. That was the latest one on the net
thing.
Yeah. And then I watched it, and then that one quote,
Yes.
and every quote that the actor and actress made was really memorable.
I see.
It still stayed with me. It was like, it's not the length of time we spend on Earth. It's like what we go with it. And that really played on my heartstrings. And
Really?
like, yeah, I'm always thinking time is as fleeting as observing the cherry blossoms. So like, time is really passed by without on the brink of eyes.
A philosopher today, are we, Sejin? I like. So thank you for sharing. And for people who are interested, you might check it out. All right. Now, let's jump into our first topic. So this is about the fact that nearly a quarter of Busan's population is now over 65, right?
Yeah, and that number is only going to grow. So how is the city responding? Busan is turning this challenge into an opportunity by investing in age tech, basically technology designed to improve life for older adults.
Yes.
They've just launched a 5-year strategy with a budget of 128.3 billion won.
Wow, so it does sound ambitious. What are they actually planning to do?
Quite a lot, actually. The strategy includes 4 main goals and 35 specific tasks, like building infrastructure, supporting local businesses, expanding public services, and encouraging industry-university partnerships.
Yes. And so is this where the Echo Delta City comes in?
Exactly. They'll set up big data healthcare centers in Gangseogu, Echo Delta City, to boost smart healthcare. It'll be part of a larger healthcare cluster, which includes support for companies making age-friendly and intelligent healthcare products.
Yes, so it seems like Busan's aiming to become this kind of tech hub for aging.
Sort of. The city is building 5 demonstration centers where new aging tech products can be tested and developed, from AI-powered devices to ICT-based medical tools.
Yes, and what about support for businesses?
They've got that covered too. Through the K-BioHealth Regional Center project,
Yes.
they'll back young companies like those under 7 years old with support ranging from product development to commercializations.
Yes. So how is this going to affect regular citizens, though?
For that, they're expanding hands-on services. For instance, they've increased elderly-friendly product experience centers from 7 to 9. They're also renting welfare equipment to low-income seniors, offering case management services.
Yes, and are there any digital upgrades that are involved?
Definitely. From next year, they will rolling out smart welfare centers that combine digital tools with existing welfare services.
Okay.
They also introduced Korea's first smart nursing home model, plus boosting the food tech industry and support home repair for the elderly who want to spend the rest of their lives at home.
Yeah, so it sounds like Busan's not just preparing for the future, but it's actually kind of actively shaping it.
Yeah, and Mayor Park Hyung-jun said it best. The World Health Organization defines an age-friendly city as one that embraces a vibrant old age. So that's what we are building.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing this story with our listeners. Next, I hear that there was a bit of a scare at the Gori nuclear power plant earlier this morning.
Yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yep.
Okay.
Around 3:50 a.m., a report came in about the smoke at Gori Nuclear Power Plant Unit 1 in Gijang County, Busan.
So did anything catch on fire?
No, that's the good news. By the time firefighter got to the scene, there was no sign of smoke or fire. No one was hurt either. The reported issue was in turbine building about 300 to 400 meters away from the reactor.
Yes.
So there was no immediate danger to the reactor or the people on site.
Do we know what caused it?
Officially say the problem was traced to the exciter, a part of the turbine system. It helps the generators generate electricity.
So I assume they might have had to reduce output.
That's right. Because the turbine system was shut down, the plant had to cut its power output to about 50 to 55%.
The big question, though, is the plant still safe?
The plant remains stable and they're still looking into the cause. The Nuclear Safety Commission said that there's no fire risk and no need for task force, but they're monitoring the situation closely.
Well, good to know that they caught it early, and so thanks for reporting on that story. All right, what's next on the agenda today?
So from on September 14, Busan is to host 22nd International Conference on Silicon Carbide and Related Materials, short for ICSCRM, for 6 days. This is the world's largest academic event, focused on power semiconductors. It first began in 1987, and this will be the very first time it's being held in Korea.
Yes, and what will the conference cover?
It will be covering everything to do with silicon carbide, materials, device, design, defects, packing, and reliability.
Yes.
And over 150 companies from all over the world are setting up booths.
Oh, so it sounds pretty major. So what about the main program?
There will be opening ceremony, keynote, and special lectures or oral presentations, and gala dinner, which is basically a fancy evening party with networking.
Yes.
And on the 17th, IQ Lab, which is a local power semiconductor firm and main sponsor at the same time, is opening its new headquarters and factory.
Well, what is the city, our city Busan, hoping to get out of all of this?
The city is hoping to use this chance to boost investment and international cooperation.
Well, here's hoping that comes to fruition. And let's go to our last item. Well, obviously, Chuseok, it's coming up. I mean, and everybody knows it's going to be a very long holiday. And with Chuseok, there are certain things, right? So,
a lot of shopping,
Yes.
cooking, and food safety checks. Busan is launching a special 5-week inspection from next month to make sure holiday foods are safe ahead of the Chuseok.
right. So, I mean, this is really the peak season for traditional foods.
Yeah, the whole point is to crack down on illegal practices that could comprise food safety during the holidays.
Yeah, so which foods are they focusing on?
All the usual Chuseok staples, traditional Korean sweet hangwa, rice cakes, and Korean beef. Inspectors will actually visit businesses in person to check their hygiene standards as well as how the food's produced and distributed.
Yes. So what kind of violations are they looking for?
They were looking for false or mixed origin labels on meat, seafood, and produce, improper food handling, exaggerated content labels, using unmarked ingredients, or even selling expired products.
Oh, please no. That's pretty serious. What happens if they do violations?
If they do catch anything, it'll either be reported to the relevant authorities or prosecuted under the food safety laws.
Well, I'm glad that they're doing this ahead of time for our safety. All right, thank you for all the local updates, of course. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll check in with you on Monday.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, this was Hutton, and I'll be back with your traffic and weather.
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
It's time for your traffic report. It's now 7:17 on this Friday morning. There's an accident to report on Nakdong-Namno from Seongsan three-way intersection to Gangso Police Station right before the police station. It's looking slow on Luno Samsungdaedo from Myeongji Underpass to Shinho Bridge. And the Dongso Overpass looks congested from Hwangyang Ramp to the Old Kegum Tollgate. Currently, it is 28 degrees Celsius under sunny skies here in Busan, with a daytime high expected to go up to 32 degrees. Busan City is under a special heat wave report, 보겸특보. The heat is on across the country, with a daytime high expected to go up to 37 degrees in some areas. Looking at the weather for the weekend, hot and sunny both tomorrow and on Sunday, with daytime highs forecast to go up to 35. So it's not over. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for Top Stories. We have Haley in the studio with us. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it's Friday. Our text topic is very much related to hour number 2, which we're going to keep on promoting. Talk Busan Film City Edition. So, what is one movie you can quote in its entirety?
You Can't Sit With Us. Mean Girls. I like Umberto.
Yes.
Yeah. And then movies that I just quote pretty much on a daily basis, like Parasite. 너는 다 계획이 있구나. And I'm always like, I've got a plan. Like, 다 계획이 있지. Yeah. And then there are movies that I can sing in their entirety, which I won't. Well, like
what?
Musicals, like Sound of Music, Chicago. My sister's in Austria right now, and it's very famous for being many things, but being the film spot for Sound of Music.
That's right.
She's never seen it before. I know this generation is
Sound
just
of Music?
Gen Zs are
Wow.
just so yeah.
Let's ask our producer.
Have you seen Sound of
보셨어요?
Music?
Okay.
Thank you. Maybe
Okay.
it's a singular. It's my sister problem.
It's just your sister.
It's just my sister. Thank goodness. I just didn't raise her right. So I was like, I can sing it to you. We were on the phone, and she's like, I've never seen it. I should download it and watch it. I'm like, why bother? I can sing it to you. And she's like, why would you? I'm like, why not?
We do have a message from our little birdie in the studio.
Oh yeah.
그래서 저는 한국 코미디 영화 극한 직업. Can I let Haley read the line?
There's no
you don't have a
monitor.
monitor today. Oh, I can't.
but is it like
지금까지 이런 맛이 없었어.
지금까지 이런 맛은 없었다. 이것은 갈비인가 통닭인가. 안녕하세요.
you
수원 갈비
memorized it. I
통닭입니다.
knew it.
That one.
I knew that one.
Thank you.
Yes. I knew you could do it.
We're here for news, though.
I have a question for the little birdie.
Sure.
Do you go around saying that? 그건 아니죠, 피디님. 아니래.
I mean, obviously, I do.
This is her
But yeah.
reaction. No, so it's a big no. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we're going to get serious because we are a news program. We're going to talk about President Lee Jae-myung embarking on his first state visit to Japan. And ahead of this, he spoke to a Japanese media outlet on a series of matters pertaining to South Korea-Japan relations.
Right. So translations were just coming out yesterday morning when we were on air. So we got you little snippets for that interview, but we have it now in its full iteration. So this is from Japan's Yomiuri newspaper, where President Lee Jae-myung spoke about the previous administration's agreements on Japanese wartime sexual slavery, sometimes colloquially called comfort women, and the forced labor mobilization issues.
Yes.
So the first one is regarding former Park Geun-hye administration's 2015 agreement on so-called comfort women, and the second Yoon Suk-yeol government's agreement to have third parties, mostly corporations, form this fund to compensate victims of forced labor.
Yes.
So President Lee said that as a country, one should not flip this promise, hinting that this administration will stand by these agreements that have been deemed controversial, in at least domestically. He did say that the agreements are hard to accept by Korean citizens. However, the president also said that he bears responsibility to gravely consider the people and the victims and their families' positions on top of these diplomatic issues. So the president further added that these issues are emotional issues first before they are economic ones, and that it is important for Japan to offer sincere words of comfort first, basically requesting that the Japanese government take a more proactive, thoughtful position on the humanitarian front before we can get to speaking about compensations.
Okay.
The president took, however, a very pragmatic tone, which is the underscoring line of his diplomacy, saying that for all overall historical issues, it is important to face facts directly and try to resolve the situation, quote, within the realm of not hurting each other, to not be buried in the issues too deep, but to face realities and mutual respect for each other, and finally maximizing things that are mutually beneficial for one another.
Right. And so the president also addressed North Korea in this interview.
Right. So this was a major point of his diplomatic and national security front as well, saying that the South Korean government's policy direction is for the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula, that Seoul will maintain close collaboration with the U.S. and pursue proactive inter-Korean dialogue to create an environment to, and this seems to be the major honing in point, freeze, reduce, and ultimately dismantle the North's nuclearization. So in 3 phases. And this is the first time that the new president has mentioned this 3-tiered approach.
Yes.
He also stated that the government will seek ways to coexist peacefully with North Korea, as well as recognize and respect each other for mutual prosperity. He also mentioned relationships with China, calling China a close presence geographically and economically, and saying that while there are aspects of competition with China, this is a relationship that needs to be handled comprehensively.
Yes. So thanks for telling us about what went down in that interview and, of course, what might be ahead for that first summit. All right. President Lee Jae-myung, also busy man, met with U.S. billionaire Bill Gates yesterday.
Right. A lot of things happening in South Korea before he heads to Japan and then to the U.S. So he met with, as you said, Microsoft founder and billionaire, chair of Gates Foundation, Bill Gates, yesterday morning.
Yes.
So Lee here praised Gates' work in public health and climate change. Also, the president pledged to seek ways to expand cooperation with the nonprofit foundation's global initiatives.
Yes.
Bill Gates said he looks forward to South Korea playing an important role in global health initiatives through innovative products in vaccines and diagnostics equipment. So Gates' visit to South Korea, as you mentioned in overview, is to explore cooperations with Korean pharmaceutical companies on vaccine supply projects for low-income countries.
All right. So leaving that story there, we're going to go back to that train accident in Cheongdo from earlier this week and what the investigation has unveiled so far.
Right. So we're talking about that train accident from Tuesday that killed 2 people and injured 5 others when a 무궁화 train hit the workers who were walking by the tracks from the back.
Yes.
So Gyeongbuk police said yesterday that they have formed a 30-person dedicated investigation team. The day prior to this, the police conducted a joint on-site inspection, taking measurements of the tracks, the roadbed, and the train. So the police said it seems that the workers were walking on the left side of the tracks with about 2 meter space between one another.
Okay.
And the police are looking into whether there was ample space around the tracks for the workers to have evacuated if needed be. And according to the National Railway Corporation, the railway in question was built before laws stipulating that about the width of the roadway was written in.
I see. And there's also emerging evidence of possible safety lapses.
Right. So those infrastructural issues are, they are there. However, there's plenty of rules that were supposed to have taken place. And it seems that KORail also broke regulations allegedly. So according to workplace rules written by KORail, if there is work being done within 2 meters of the rail, then the rail must be closed off to passing by trains. But the workers here went onto the tracks with permission to work with the trains running on schedule. And then the thing is, though, for them to be able to do their job, which was inspections for flood damages, they actually had to be physically on the tracks. So there are questions, a lot of questions to be answered. And then on top of that, there are reports that 6 of the subcontract workers who were dispatched urgently. So they were dispatched at the last minute. And this was actually outside of what was written in their contract. So they were apparently only contracted to do some inspections on bridges and tunnels and not the tracks themselves.
Okay.
But it seems that the workers are put on the job without ample preparation, either on part of the subcontracted company or KORail. Actually, to that point, 2 of the 6 subcontracted workers, their names were not even on the roster of people who are supposed to be on that job. So under the rules for KORail to add such additional tasks as it did this time, they're supposed to establish the project and come up with safety measures. So they were supposed to have taken the time to kind of write out the plans, which didn't happen. So amid this controversy, KORail's president Han Moon-hee tendered his resignation yesterday, taking responsibility for the accident.
Well, 2 lives lost. So.
Right.
All right. Up next, there have been reports that the U.S. government is seeking a stake in semiconductor companies, which would include Samsung Electronics.
Potentially. So these are, nothing is certain, but I'm citing credible reports by Reuters, which reported earlier that the U.S. government is looking into ways for it to take equity stakes, 지분 확보, in semiconductor manufacturers that received U.S. funding to build factories in the United States.
Yes.
So what this means is that for however much stipends or subsidies that the U.S. government gave to the companies, they might ask for an equal amount in stocks, in shares. So already plans have been announced for the government to receive an equity stake in Intel for the cash grants it gave.
Right.
And the Reuters report cited two sources that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is exploring. So again, nothing is certain, but looking into how the U.S. can receive equity stakes in exchange for the CHIPS Act funding for companies like Samsung Electronics, Micron, and TSMC.
So let's take a look at how South Korean firms are tied into this.
Right, how they might be, again.
Right.
So under the Biden-era CHIPS Act, Samsung Electronics is building a foundry plant in Texas, and they are due to receive 6.5 trillion won in government subsidies from the U.S.
Yes.
SK Hynix also building a factory in Indiana. They're pledged to receive some 630 billion won worth of subsidies. So if the U.S. government applies the same formula as it did to Intel to convert the entirety of the subsidies to equal amount in stakes,
Yes.
the U.S. government then could theoretically get a 1.6% share of Samsung Electronics.
Oh.
Right, that is not nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's unclear whether this would be probable, especially for foreign companies. However, overall, though, it does raise some concerns for the industry because this could be a part of the Trump administration's, what some outlets have dubbed, a blatant move to gain hegemony in the semiconductor market by really expanding its influence.
Okay.
And it does go in line with the U.S. president having unveiled plans for this 100% semiconductors tariff with an exemption of companies that build their factories in the States. And then timing-wise, though, it is concerning because this comes right before the South Korea-U.S. summit, just around the corner.
That's right. Well, what has the government said about this matter, all the reporting, allegations, and whatnot?
Right. So the presidential office yesterday said that this is unfounded. So the spokesperson Kang Yoo-jung said that as far as they are aware, no South Korean company has received such subsidies yet. So again, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix are pledged to receive the money.
Right.
So Seoul's argument is that Korean firms are not under this premise of having required to give equity stakes because no money has exchanged hands yet.
Yes.
They also contacted the corporations and confirmed that the companies have not been contacted by the U.S., at least yet. So Kang said that these may be rumors or speculation ahead of the summit and negotiations.
Yes, yes. Well, we'll see if these are unfounded or not pretty soon, I guess. Well, thank you for all the news. And of course, we'll check in with you real soon in hour number 2. Thank you.
See you in a bit.
All right, everybody. We are ready for a song break. I don't know if you're listening. Happy Pamnim, you requested a song yesterday. I don't see you on the board today. However, you said you wanted to listen to I Got You by Twice. So here it is.
We were lightning from the start, and
It's time for Foreign Press Highlights. Guess who is here? This is Casey. Good morning.
Good morning, Catherine.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it's Friday.
I know.
That's right.
Hey, so our text topic today, because we are prepping for Talk Busan Film City Edition. That's coming up in hour number 2. We have a panel coming in, and we're going to talk about Busan as film city.
I better make way.
Yeah, no.
Is it going to be full in here?
That's only an hour. Yeah, it's quite packed in hour number 2.
I'll let you handle that.
Yes. So here's our question.
Okay.
What's a movie that you can quote almost in its entirety, or something that really stood out to you, something that you use?
Oh, I definitely can't do it on the air.
Why?
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, don't do that on air.
No. That's the one that comes to mind immediately because it's like the dialogue is so memorable.
It is, though. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't even quote anything because there's like a scene in a car where they're talking about cheeseburgers.
Yes.
From
Something
various
Royale.
companies. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one definitely. And I was at the right age. That was seems like early 90s. I think I was in like high school when it came out. Probably seen it way too many times.
Oh, many people have.
Yeah.
A lot of quotable lines there.
Oh, another one that comes to mind is E.T. Elliot. Ding. Yeah.
E.T. photo.
I don't know if I can do the whole movie, but any line like E.T. has, I'm like, yes.
Right.
I'm looking more and more like E.T., the older I get, actually.
So, yes, thank you for sharing. Now, we're going to get into our first story. It's about Korea, obviously.
Yes.
Where's it from? What's it about?
Well, this one is from the BBC. And it's about Jeju, and I was curious when the last time you went to Jeju. It seems like I've asked you this before.
It's been ages, I'll be honest.
Me too.
I haven't gone recently. Yeah. The last time I went, it was like, I don't remember what year.
Me neither.
Right.
I actually couldn't find out. I know it's like more than 10 years ago.
Right.
Seems about right.
It's been a while.
So if it's, if you haven't been in a while like we haven't been, or if you've never been, the BBC has something that you should know.
What should we know?
The headline says... South Korea tells tourists on holiday island Jeju to behave.
Oh, behave.
Behave. Is that Mike Myers? What is that? Austin Powers?
Austin Powers, yeah.
Behave.
Okay, so why? Why should we behave?
Wow. Now I can see his teeth in my mind.
No.
Yeah, baby. Apparently, tourists there... they're doing things. So the police have had to say for the first time, I didn't really, there are signs if you go to like tourist areas, be quiet, especially like the kind of older neighborhoods, where people might be walking through. Sure. That's not new. But they say police in Jeju have for the first time released actual guidelines to remind foreign visitors to behave or to face fines. Apparently, there's been a very large increase in the number of tourists since last year, especially.
Sure.
So this new guide is printed in Chinese, English, and Korean. It's the first of its kind in the entire country, it turns out. And it comes during the peak summer season.
Okay, so I want to know, what are people doing? And by the way, I'm guessing it's not just all foreign visitors. I'm sure there are domestic visitors who misbehave as well. I just wanted to put that out there.
Well, they did say they printed the guide in Korean as well.
Yes.
All right. So apparently, according to the article, the locals in Jeju have complained about especially tourist littering, which is that's a bummer.
That's a bummer.
You don't want to pick up after people.
Yes.
But you also don't want to let children defecate on the street.
No.
That's what they said in the article.
And that's your English word for today. I'm sorry, defecate. It means to go number 2.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
On the street?
That's a bummer. That's apparently what they said in the article. They give an entire list of what they call minor offenses that are published in the guide. This includes smoking in prohibited areas. I see that happen here in Busan.
That's a no-no.
Stop it. In front of my child's UT1.
Aww.
Every time I see it, I'm like, come on, man. Like here.
I know, seriously?
Like right in front of
the... Common sense. Okay,
Thank you.
What else?
Littering, as I mentioned. Jaywalking. Not guilty. Drunken disorderly behavior. Running away from restaurants without paying for your meal.
Dine and dash. People are still doing that?
Apparently.
Okay.
Okay. As I mentioned, defecating in public, also urinating in public, using a fake ID. For what purpose?
Why
these
would
are
you very illegal. Some of these are, Okay, what else?
This one surprised me. Let me try that again. Trespassing and breaking into empty houses.
Wow. They had
Some
to
of
make
yeah.
like a list?
Yes.
Okay.
These are the ones mentioned in the article, so I'm assuming there might be more on the list. And some of these, to me, they don't sound like minor offenses, like trespassing, breaking it in. I can't even say it. It's so, ooh.
Right. So as our producer points out, a lot of the homes in Jeju, they're like smaller, like single-family homes, and they have yards with the pretty, stone walls and stuff like that. So I guess people are...
and I guess maybe it might be somebody's like summer home or something, so they might not be there. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
And so, there's nobody here. Let's check it out. Wow. That doesn't seem like a minor offense to me. And I assume because all of these are on the list, we're assuming that people have done all these things, right?
Yes.
Oh, boy. So, there are fines involved.
How much are we talking about?
All
I
right.
hope they're steep.
I'll let you decide.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I think after you answer. According to the guide that was actually released by the police to the press, first-time violators, you're actually let off. So you get a warning.
Like a warning?
Yeah, but if you're a repeat offender, you could be fined as much as 200,000
I don't
won.
like that as much as.
Yeah.
I think that should be a minimum.
All right, and sometimes this is the BBC, so they convert it to pounds as well. That would be 106 pounds, and US dollars, that would be $143.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I accidentally trespassed and broke into a home. The fine is up to $200.
Up
No,
to. They didn't say what the starting fine is.
I know, but that's like highly illegal. I wouldn't want that person to go to jail.
Because imagine like you are home. Right? Like the person doesn't necessarily really know if somebody's there or not until they get inside the house.
That should not be doing this. I don't know. Am I too tough? Maybe.
No, but we're also Americans. So I realize that fines in the U.S. are also a lot higher typically. But yeah, I thought 200,000 won. I was like, really? For some of these, doesn't seem to be enough to deter people, to be honest.
Apparently. So,
yeah.
Well, how can you get this guide?
This is what I'm curious about as well. I'm curious what you think about this. So according to Jeju Police Agency Chief Kim Soo-young, they've printed an initial 8,000 copies of the guide that are to be distributed immediately.
Okay.
And the purpose of the guide is to prevent misunderstandings due to language. That could be definitely an issue when you have, international travelers. You got cultural differences as well. The idea is to improve foreigners' understanding of Korean culture and laws. Do you think 8,000 copies of these are enough?
I want to know in what culture. I'm like so offended. In what culture is it okay to litter? To be drunk and disorderly, to break into an empty home. In what culture? Come on.
Fair enough, right? Like when you go to another country, don't you kind of need to already have this mindset like, I need to be on my best behavior?
Absolutely.
I mean, you should, right?
You should always be on your best behavior, but especially when you're in, another country or
you want to err on the side of caution, right?
Because you don't want there to be misunderstandings,
right? Because you don't want to end up in jail. That's like my number one rule in life. Period. Like I don't want to end up in jail, but especially like
that's
when
a good rule.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm proud of that.
Yes.
But especially when you're going to another country, you don't want to make that mistake that you just like, whoa, I have to explain my way out of this. But
okay, so 8,000 copies. How many visitors did Jeju have?
Right. Okay, so you need a little context. So according to local media, so far this year, Jeju has had 7 million visitors. So 8,000 copies doesn't seem to be equivalent to what they might need.
Yes.
They said, though, this is important because last year, foreign visitors to Jeju contributed a record 9.26 trillion won into the local economy. So there's a lot of people spending a lot of money there. Obviously, Jeju's getting some benefit from that. There's definitely an economic boost. They mention in the article that a lot of foreign visitors, the reasons for going to Jeju, not just the sightseeing,
yes,
but they're there to shop, they're there to gamble. The house always wins. I do want to remind visitors. So you're basically giving money to Jeju when you go gambling. Not a surprise, I think.
Yes.
But so tourists definitely want to spend money there, except for the people apparently who are doing the dining and dashing.
Leslie has a comment saying, if they really are foreign nationals doing this, the fine is nothing. Like we said, it seems quite low.
That's what I thought so
why
too.
wouldn't it be automatic deportation back home if they broke the law? And then, but you mentioned the economic effect,
You have to have that balance, right?
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's like that balance that you got to keep. And
sure.
I'm sure they don't want Jeju or South Korea to seem unfriendly as well.
Right.
But like I said, that list you read off of, that's not okay anywhere.
That's not unfriendly behavior, for
that's
sure,
just
right?
Bad behavior.
Yeah. So I was curious, they said this is the first time this has been published or, decided to be published in Korea, period.
Okay.
They mentioned in the article, South Korea in general has seen a lot of rebound in tourism, post-COVID.
Yes.
So do you think like this is just the first of many to come? Do you think like we'll have a Busan guide for tourists?
I hope we don't need it.
I hope not either.
I hope and plus vice versa. When Korean nationals or anybody from Korea, when we go abroad, that we behave as well and, respect the laws and culture.
Yeah. And interesting, the word deportation was mentioned. That's in the news a lot these days. Is that going to be the solution to everything?
I hope not.
I hope
it doesn't
either.
come to that.
I agree,
Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our next story.
Okay.
What's it about?
This is, actually, this took place in Jeju once. And perhaps this could be a solution. Instead of the guidelines,
okay.
Make people space out for a while. If they do something you don't like. Yes. Yeah. So this is it seems like every year this comes up in the news because I think people like to report on
yes.
Korea is known for being a very busy place. And the fact that there is a competition every year since 2014, I think they said.
Yes.
So National Geographic is reporting on it this week. The headline is, "Could you do nothing for 90 minutes in South Korea? It's a sport." And that's the gotcha part of the headline. Is really?
That's
it's a sport?
Hook.
Yeah, right. So the idea is, yes, they're asking readers, could you do nothing for 90 minutes? Do you think you could?
No.
It's hard. 9 minutes. 9 minutes is hard to do nothing, right?
90. And this is without falling asleep, by the way.
Right, you can't. So if you're unfamiliar, this is the annual Space Out competition. It was launched in 2014 by visual artist Upsyang. And now I do know they had additions throughout the world now. It's it's inspired other competitions internationally now. Now it takes place along the Seoul Han River, and the idea was to kind of challenge this idea that it's too busy. Here people don't have time to do anything. Take a break. So it's encouraging people to do that. You're judged on your ability to remain calm, motionless for 90 minutes. You can't use a phone, can't talk, can't fall asleep.
You can't fall asleep. Yeah.
No, you just gotta be. You gotta exist for 90 minutes.
That's kind of tough, though.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to having some sort of device in our hand. We're so used to, if you're busy and if you're tired, there's lack of sleep, for 90 minutes, I would fall asleep probably.
I would too. Yeah, for 9 minutes, I think I could do it. But 90 minutes.
Tough.
Yeah, actually, no, 9 minutes, I can't do it. I try to meditate. I do at least once a day. I take a nap. It's really what I'm doing. I'm really taking a nap. I'm like, I'm out.
Right. And don't they have to wear monitor, heart rate monitors and stuff?
That's right. So you have to wear a heart rate monitor, and that's how they basically determine who the winners are. They measure you throughout the contest, and the audience also votes. And the winner this year, actually mentioned exactly what you mentioned. The problem is people have phones. That's what makes it so hard.
Okay.
But he prepared. He's in the article. You can see a picture of him. He's got an interesting look to him. He's a 36-year-old entrepreneur and also indie punk musician by the name of Byung-jin Park. He participated with his bandmates. They beat everybody. They were the joint winners. They beat 100 competitors. And he said, this is curious to me. I wonder how you'd feel about this. He said, as time passed, I started to forget where I was, because this is 90 minutes, right? I felt like my body had disappeared.
Wow.
Does that sound kind of scary?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And then we have people chiming in. Tommy says, I can do it.
90 minutes?
Really? And this is so ironic because he works for a phone manufacturer.
Oh.
The irony of this, right?
Yeah.
And Leslie says, 90 minutes awake without a phone? And then, that's tough.
It is. And he pointed this out. So he said the article basically interviewed him about his strategy to win.
Yes.
And he said he kind of had to prepare himself. He learned how to do slow abdominal breathing, learning how to focus. And he said one thing that he did every now and then was he would ride the subway. And he was aware that, it's hard for him to get away from his phone as well.
Sure.
But he would be on the subway and he's like, all right, I'm not going to use my phone for a bit. And he would just kind of look around and everybody.
Practice.
Right.
Train.
Right. Training. And he noticed everybody on the subway is just on their phone at all times.
That's true.
Have you ever been on the subway or bus?
Yeah.
And have you tried to stop using your phone?
When my battery was dead.
Only that time, right?
I'll be honest.
And that's fair. That's an honest answer. I'll do it sometimes. Purposely, I'll just be I'll put it in my pocket, and I start looking around, and I feel weird.
Yeah, because you're the odd person out.
Yeah.
And then it's not a culture where we strike up conversation hey,
no, you
how
don't
are you?
Do that. You don't want to do that on the subway.
I'm Catherine. I'm Kat. What's your name?
I've had that done to me. It's not good. It's not a good.
I'm sure people Because you might stand out just a little more than I do. Just
Not
a
as
little.
much as I used to.
Okay.
Not as much as I used to.
And then people try to maybe strike up conversations with you. It's kind of like, okay.
It was always like a weird premise too. Like this watch that I'm wearing, for example, like it's been more than once somebody's been like, "Hi, I like your watch." And I'm like, "Who are you?"
Like, why?
Yeah. This one, are you sure?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You can have it.
Yeah.
Right.
Leave me alone. Yes. But yeah, so I've definitely noticed that. And he mentioned that's kind of something that's in the culture. And I suspect this is not just Korea. There's kind of this feeling like if you are doing nothing, if you're not on your phone, if you're not trying to be productive or whatever the term is at all times,
Yes.
it is weird and it's kind of discouraged. And I agree with that. He said, no one sits in parks just to think anymore. There simply isn't time. And if you do space out, especially in public, it's strange. Or people might think you're like unproductive.
Yeah.
And he says even outside of work, doing nothing draws criticism. Do you have this similar kind of feeling? Do you feel guilty if you're not doing anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just, as we all are in this day and age, we're so busy and we're like supposedly multitasking and probably not doing it well.
No,
but
I'm not.
Yeah,
I
can't. Well, congrats.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to do it again too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he
Congratulations.
says he hopes to do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea. So after we wrap up our segment, we have so many interesting messages from our listeners about movie lines. Can we go through some of them together? I will give you the line and you can tell me which movie it's from.
Okay, cool. I'm terrible at this.
Okay, here we go. Okay,
right, here we go.
So my producer's probably like, what's she doing? Okay, well, okay, here. So, by the way, thank you for Foreign Press Highlights.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Oh, is that a line from a movie?
No.
Okay. All right. That wasn't a test.
I'm
Okay.
like, no,
All
it's not
right.
a test.
Okay.
Okay, so now this is real.
Okay.
So we have a message from Young on our KakaoTalk board saying, Good morning. 이 영화 빼놓을 수 없죠. Okay, so I'm going to give you the quote. You name the movie.
All right, here we go.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a... And I can't say that.
Gone with the Wind.
딩동. 이거 실로폰 없어요. 딩동댕댕. Okay, very good. That, and by the way, I actually quoted that one as well. How about, I'm going to give you mine. Okay? Okay, ready?
I think so.
You had me at hello.
Oh, come on now.
Show me the money.
Jerry Maguire.
Yes.
You had
I need
me
that
at hello.
xylophone. You had me at hello. You remember? She's like crying. He's like giving this like heartfelt speech and like putting it out there, and then
I know I've seen that movie. I have zero recollection of that movie. And there's like
Really?
that Show Me
Tom
the Money,
Cruise?
and you
Renee
had me at
Zellweger?
yeah. It wasn't my jam.
okay. So
But
how
I
about
know
this
it.
one?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't do this accent. I'm so bad at accents.
This will be entertaining.
Wait, does it need an accent? Okay,
Yes,
I'm gonna
please do
make
it,
him an
please do it.
offer he can't refuse.
I'm gonna make you an offer.
Further, I can't refuse.
Godfather Part 1.
Do we need to do the so stereotyping? But here we go. And then let's see. We have so many more, but
Oh, we got a fellow competitor in here. Come on.
Oh, okay. We have a Haley with a xylophone. How about this one?
Have a seat.
I have a feeling you might not get this.
Okay.
But you never know. Okay, here we go.
If it's after the 90s, you might be right.
Cleanliness is next to managerliness.
Oh, no. I have no idea. Haley, you got... no idea. No.
Okay,
I'm
so
going
Benny
to take a
says
guess.
It's an animated film.
Oh, no. I was way off. I was going to say like The Intern.
Yeah! SpongeBob.
Okay.
SpongeBob?
Is there a SpongeBob
That's
film?
what Benny says.
Is it a SpongeBob
That's what
movie?
Benny says. I don't know.
This is a movie, right?
How about this one? I'm so bad at acting, people. I
Oh, I
apologize.
love this. Please
Why
act
so
more.
serious?
Act more. The Joker. That's the
Which
Dark Knight.
one?
The Dark Knight. The Dark.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Yeah, okay, Haley says yes. So, okay, we're going to go with
This is my team over here.
yes. How about this one?
Go ahead.
To infinity and beyond.
Is it really? I'm getting. I'm getting.
Buzz
I'm
Lightyear.
getting a message in my
Dude, it's Toy Story.
Toy Story. I wouldn't
it's like
have known
every
that.
version of it.
No, I would have known that. Yeah, that's Tom Hanks's character, right?
Okay, well,
Buzz Lightyear.
the reason we normally
Oy
don't do
vey.
this, the reason why we did this in the first place is because in hour number 2, what do we have? We have Talk Busan Film City Edition. So that's why we did this. Thank you so much for playing along, and we'll check in with you next week.
I was spaced out. during it.
Bye, Casey.
Bye-bye.
All right, so you heard it. Hour number 2, it's coming up. So this is Beep Beep by IU. Enjoy.
Back off 이대로 좋아요 balance It's me 나예요 다를 거 없이 요즘엔 뭔가요 내 갓색 탐색하는 불빛 Scanner 오늘은 몇 점인가요 Jealous 쟤는 대체 왜 저런 옷을 좋아한담 기분을 알 수 없는 그 표정은 뭐람 대가 달라진 건 아마 스트레스 때문인가 걱정요 쟤도 참 Yellow CARD 이 손 넘으면 침범이야 beep 매너는 여기까지 is my Please skip the lie Hello to BID 그 손 넘으면 정색이야 beep Stop it 거리 유지해 cause we don't know Come on we don't know I don't care 당신의 비밀이 뭔지 저마다의 사정 역시 정중히 사양할게요 Not my business 이대로 좋아요 Talk less Still me 너의 오늘 날 거 없이 I'm sure you're gonna say my gosh 바빠지는 눈빛 Checking 매일 틀린 그림 찾기 Hashtagging 꼿꼿하게 걷다가 삐끗 넘어질라 다들 수군대는 걸 자기는 하나 몰라 요스파리만 걔를 어울린다나 문제야 쟤도 참 Yellow CARD 이 손 넘으면 침범이야 beep 매너는 여기까지 is
Your bridge to the world. BIFF 부산영어방송.
기업체 사장님들 아직도 직영으로 식당 운영하고 계십니까? 위탁급식과 도시락 전문 기업 더 좋은 푸드에 맡겨보십시오. 운영비 절감 효과 확실합니다. 식대는 협의 후 맞춰드립니다. 지역 부산 경남 문의 전화 051-784-0877.
한국전쟁 당시 우리를 먼저 도운 에티오피아 6천여 명의 군인들은 자신들의 월급을 모아 부모 잃은 아이들을 위해
부산이 과학기술 혁신도시로 도약하고 있습니다. 과학기술, 산업, 고등교육이 파동치는 혁신도시 부산. 과학으로 한 걸음 앞서가는 부산이 대한민국의 미래를 이끕니다. 변화와 도약을 이끄는 중요한 한 걸음. 일상에 보이지 않는 곳까지 새로운 가능성을 찾아갑니다. 비스텝, 비더스텝. 이 캠페인은 부산의 과학기술, 산업, 고등교육 혁신을 선도하는 부산과학기술고등교육진흥원이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전. 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
김밥가게 박 사장님도, 문구점 김 사장님도, 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고발전협의회.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
It's now 8 o'clock. This is hour number 2 of Morning Wave in Busan. Let's begin with Spotlight News. Foreign Minister departs suddenly for Washington. Foreign Minister Cho Hyun has departed for Washington yesterday, bypassing his scheduled trip to Japan with President Lee Jae-myung. His sudden departure has raised speculations of an unexpected situation on site ahead of the summit between President Lee Jae-myung and U.S. President Donald Trump on August 25th. An official from the Foreign Ministry said that the minister has made an early departure for thorough preparation, considering the significance and gravity of the first summit. Top-grade negotiator Yo Han-gu reportedly met with U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer for last-minute fine-tuning of the summit's agenda. Foreigners to face new home buying restrictions in capital area. The Land Ministry yesterday announced that foreign nationals may not buy homes in the capital area unless it is for actual residents as part of efforts to curb speculative investments. The ministry yesterday decided to designate Seoul and much of the capital area as land transaction permission areas for foreign nationals, requiring foreigners or corporations to get permission from local governments to buy homes in these areas. The move comes amid criticism that some foreign nationals with overseas funding have been making speculative real estate purchases and raising home prices. Court issues arrest warrant for shaman Gunjin. The Seoul Central Court yesterday approved the special counsel's arrest warrant request for Chun Sung-bae, also known as the shaman Gunjin, citing a risk of him attempting to destroy evidence. Chun faces allegations of aggravated influence peddling and violation of the Political Funds Act for allegedly passing on luxury items from the Unification Church to former First Lady Kim Gun-hee. Chun did not show up to the hearing, saying that he accepts the detention. In the meantime, the special counsel questioned Kim Gun-hee for about 3 hours yesterday over allegations surrounding Gunjin's bribery. The counsel will summon Kim again tomorrow morning. Bill Gates calls on South Korea to gradually increase ODA spending. Microsoft founder and Gates Foundation chair Bill Gates yesterday called on South Korea to gradually raise its development aid spending to reach 0.5% of its economy. The billionaire philanthropist called for focusing on multilateral health platforms for high-impact assistance, such as the Vaccine Alliance, Gavi, and the Global Fund. South Korea's official development assistance, or ODA, spending as a share of its economy stood at 0.21% in 2024, up from 0.17% the previous year. Russia launches massive airstrike offensive against Ukraine. Russia has launched over 500 drones and 40 missiles in Ukraine in one of the heaviest strikes in weeks as efforts to stop the war are ongoing. Russia issued a series of hardline remarks, including insisting it must have a veto over any post-war support for Ukraine and that European plans to deploy troops in Ukraine after the war would amount to unacceptable foreign intervention. Ukraine's foreign minister said that the strikes showed why efforts to end the war were so critical. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he was willing to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in neutral Europe. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for our xylophoner, aka Haley, for Wagga Wagga. That was so impromptu. I loved it.
I found the purpose for all my running.
To run
was to
get
run
the xylophone.
across the station to get the xylophone and run back and still make it in time.
It came in handy. Thank you.
know. This is like functional mobility at its best.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we're going to have an abbreviated version of Wagga Wagga today, obviously, because we have Talk Busan coming up soon. But an archery national team member has been under fire for his far-right affiliated social media posts, right?
Definitely waggling on social media right now. So national team member for archery, Jang Tae-won, is facing disciplinary action following his far-right viewed SNS or social media posts. So Jang Tae-won is part of actually a Busan team, Sasangu District's archery team, and a member of the national team. Although because he is ranked below the top 4, he doesn't participate in international events bearing the South Korean flag.
Right.
However, Jang came under fire for writing things like 멸공, which means to eradicate communism, but that's been kind of a catchphrase, a rallying cry for some far-right accounts and figures. And he also, it became known that he followed several far-right extremist accounts on Instagram.
Okay.
He also had multiple posts claiming that China allegedly manipulated South Korea's presidential election this past June, as well as spewing regional discrimination against the southwestern area, right? So it's kind of the package of these views. His account is currently set to private, however, so we cannot confirm whether he has removed the posts or whether they're still up.
Yes.
So Jang, following this, wrote on social media, kind of apologizing, and this became controversial on top of everything else, saying that he thought it was okay to express his personal political views because the Constitution says that all citizens are equal and that no one should be discriminated against across all fields. So basically kind of defending his own views here with the Constitution as a reason. He also stated he was sorry if people were upset because of him. So thus the kind of an apology.
Is it though?
Right, I don't know. He also stated that in terms of him being a public figure and, that what he says also represents, Team Korea. Well, he stated he's in second tier national team Igun, not in the top 4 and competing in international events. So he thought he wasn't a public figure.
Really? But he's still part of the Sasangu District archery team.
Which is a taxpayer funded.
Exactly. So the authorities, how have they responded to these accusations?
Right. So the Korea Archery Association said that the matter is cut and dry, that there is evidence, and the athlete has admitted to this wrongdoing.
Okay.
The association is holding discussions or holding a hearing to discuss the matter further. The Archery Association also said that because it does offer social media awareness and literacy kind of training for its top tier athletes. However, they said they're going to expand this to cover more people.
Yes.
Sasangu District Office, for its part, where he is a part of the pro team, it has been getting bombarded with complaints and phone calls, online comments.
Right.
So the district office said that it will wait for the Korea Sports and Olympic Committee's disciplinary panel to hand down its decision and follow suit.
I see. Well, thank you for reporting on this story. We're going to move to this story. U.S. President Donald Donald Trump has pledged to crack down on undocumented immigration, and his administration has come up with an interesting method to deter illegal border crossings.
Right. So a lot of things, like building that long fence, that was kind of in Trump era 1.
Yes.
Now painting the wall black is the newest move, right? Really. So Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said that the entire U.S.-Mexico border, the wall will be painted black. That's because black absorbs heat, so it'll make the wall physically hotter and therefore harder to climb.
Really? Okay.
She actually credited the idea entirely to President Trump, to the press, saying that it will be specifically at his request. So the administration policy will, of course, focus on detentions and deportations of undocumented immigrants on U.S. soil, as it has been for the past few months, but that this will be an additional aspect of the policy.
Okay.
By the way, Trump's policy bill that passed earlier this summer, it has allocated $46 million for additional wall construction. So the entire border spanning wall construction will continue.
Sure.
Also, the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said earlier this month that a total of 300,000 undocumented immigrants have been detained on U.S. soil since early this year.
Yes.
And crossings and detentions of undocumented immigrants ever since Trump got into office, it has plummeted with record lows of approximately 4,600 in July and 6,000 in the month of June, which, by the way, is a 92% reduction compared to the same period the previous years.
I see. Well, thank you for reporting all these waggly stories, and we'll check in with you on Monday. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great weekend.
Excuse me. And before we get to our song break, I do want to tease once again, we do have our next segment, Talk Busan City of Film Edition, coming up next. And now we have 행복한 나를 by 허각.
Yeah. Girl, listen. You're the only one for me, baby. And let me tell you why. 몇 번인가 이별을 경험하고서 널 만났지. 그래서 더 시작이 두려웠는지 몰라. 하지만 누군가를 알게 되고 사랑하게 되는 건 네가 마지막이라면 얼마나 좋을까. 나처럼 바쁜 하루 중에도 잠시 내 목소리 들으면 함께 있는 것처럼 너도 느껴지는지. 매일 밤 집으로 돌아갈 때 그곳에 네가 있다면 힘든 하루 지친 네 마음이 내 품에 안겨질 텐데 지금처럼만 날 사랑해줘. 난 너만 변하지 않는다면 내 모든 걸 가질 사람은 너뿐이야. 나는 들리지 않아. 넌 가끔은 자신이 없는 미래를 미안해하지만 잊지 말아줘. 사랑해. 너와 함께라면 이제 행복한 나를 I can always be happy with me. I can always be happy with me. 바쁜 하루 중에도 잠시 내 목소리 들으면 함께 있는 것처럼 너도 느껴지는지. 매일 밤 집으로 돌아갈 때 그곳에 네가 있다면 힘든 하루 지친 네 마음이 내 품에 안겨질 텐데 지금처럼만 날 사랑해줘. 난 너만 변하지 않는다면 내 모든 걸 가질 사람은 너뿐이야. 나는 들리지 않아. 넌 가끔은 자신이 없는 미래를 미안해하지만 있고 네 마음처럼 난 늘 같은 자리에 또 하나의 네가 되고 싶어 소중한 널 위해 지금처럼 날 사랑해줘 너만 변하지 않으면 내 전부를 가질 사람은 너뿐이야 나는 들리지 않아 자신 없는 미래로 미안해하고 있니 넌 이제 혼자가 아니야 이젠 있지만 너와 함께라면 언제나 행복한 나를 I can do anything and everything if my life's with you
The dark underworld of organized crime. What about the vivacity of the fish market or the beautiful nighttime cityscape? Well, these are just some of the ways that our city, Busan, has been portrayed in many, many films, right? Busan has been a popular setting for many movies for years on end. And Busan is also the site for some of the most popular and biggest, I feel like the best film festival too, which I'm referring to, of course, is the Busan International Film Festival, known as BIFF. So to talk about everything related to Busan and film, cinema, we bring you August Talk Busan, the city of film. All right, Wavers, we are ready. We're going to begin, but I do need to let you know this program was created with funding from Busan Metropolitan City's Regional Broadcast Development Support Program. So, without further ado, let's meet our panel of experts for today. So, first, I'm going to introduce to my right Professor Cha Min-chul, professor at the Department of Film Studies at Dongyeo University. Welcome to the program.
Hello, thanks for having me here.
Yes, yes. And then we have programmer Park Sung-ho. Many of you might recognize him. He's been on BFM programs throughout the years. He's a programmer for the Busan International Film Festival, or BIFF. So welcome, Park Sung-ho.
Good morning. I'm Sung-ho. Nice to meet you all.
Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. And then we have Kim Kyung-nim, CEO of Hwaha Studio. And you say, she has given me permission to call her Lima.
Yes.
So welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
And, of course, we have a stranger. You know I'm kidding. Not a stranger. He's on the show every Friday with me. Professor Andrew Millard, An 교수님 from Changwon National University. Welcome again.
Good morning, good morning.
Yes, yes. All right, so we're going to get started. And I'm so excited because film, movies, Busan, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. So I'm going to ask all of you, what is your favorite movie that was filmed in Busan? So we're going to start with Professor Cha, and then we're going to go to programmer Park Sung-ho, and then we're going to go on. But what film really stands out for you, Professor?
Yeah, it is Nowhere to Hide. In Korean, 인정사정 볼 곳 없다, directed by Lee Myung-se in 1999. The opening scene of this film, shot at the Forest Terrace in Jungangdong, is regarded as an iconic moment of the history of the Korean cinema. I think. Yeah.
What a great choice. And I'm sure you have many, but Sung-ho, is it okay to call you Sung-ho? You said in the beginning. Okay. So what would you choose?
Well, there are so many films, but one of my favorites is Oasis by director Lee Chang-dong. Well, it's not entirely shot in Busan, but some scenes captured the city's raw edges very beautifully. And another one is Decision to Leave, which was released pretty in recent years.
Yes.
Also directed by Park Chan-wook. really highlighted Busan's mystic and cinematic geography very well. So that's why also I like the 인정사정 볼 것 없다 too very much.
I see. So we have an agreement here already. What about for 대표님 for Lima? What would you choose?
Actually, I'm really bad at choosing favorites, but
we're gonna force you though.
Yeah, but then because under the name of, theme of Busan.
Yes.
Over I was preparing this, I think it has to be it's called Dark Figure of Crime. I had to look up English title for it. It's called 암수살인 in Korean. Yeah, so it's not as known film as previous films that were mentioned, but it's 100% shot in Busan, and the story is based on what happened in Busan, actually based on real crime that happened in Busan. And so I liked how the film chased after actual scenes of crimes, and also the main character is. He grew up in Busan, and then he performed this perfect Busan dialect, and he does portray such a realistic detective who is chasing after this, really really creepy criminal. So I enjoy crime thrillers and as well. So to me, I think that was like really well captured Busan parts, and also like the way main character plays the tone and nuance was really really perfect to portray like Busan 아저씨 detective.
Busan 아재. Yes. No, I fully understand. What about you, Professor Andrew?
Well, firstly, I'm going to have a busy weekend because I haven't heard of half of these movies. So I'm going to spend all weekend watching some of them.
Okay.
To catch up on my Busan.
Yes.
But mine's... So I learned Korean in England before I came. It was like 25 years ago. So one of the first movies I saw at the time was a brand new one, which was Old Boy. For me, I obviously couldn't understand the Korean, so I had to have the subtitles.
Yes.
But the film Old Boy was such a different movie to anything I'd seen in the West before. And it really showed a lot of Korean culture. So for me, I think Old Boy is one of the standout.
Yes.
Not just of that time. I think really one of the best movies I've seen ever.
It's on many critics like top, whatever lists. So many critics would agree with you.
Right.
Well, yes.
Andrew, have you visited the restaurant of the Old Boy in...
The mandu.
Yeah, the mandu dim sum.
I have not.
Where is it? Where is
it? It's nearby Busan Station.
Okay.
The Chinatown.
Oh, I'll have to go.
Let's go after.
Are you buying, Professor?
Yes.
한턱 쏘세요.
Thank you for sharing all of your picks. And now I'm going to turn to Sungho, our programmer for BIFF. When we think about film and cinema, obviously BIFF comes to mind. So why was Busan selected as the city for this, what has become a huge international film festival?
Well, I think it was meant to be honest. But, when Busan International Film Festival was first launched in 1996, I don't think there were many people who believed in this. But from the first edition, from the inaugural edition in 1996, it turned out to be a great success.
Yes.
So it surprised everyone, including me. Until then, actually, Busan, though the second largest city in Korea, was often seen as culturally underdeveloped. But there was clearly immense potential, and it was thanks to the founding members of the film festival who recognized that potential, along with the strong support from the city of Busan. I think all these factors made it possible, and I think Busan citizens should be proud of it.
Oh, we are. I am. Aren't you all? I definitely am.
Sure.
Yes, because some people might think, well, it started out, humble beginnings, but now, it has grown into this huge international film festival. And you might think, oh, not just in Asia, like people know about BIFF now all around the world. So in terms of BIFF influencing the film industry, I'm sure there are effects as well.
Sure. Well, BIFF is not just an event for screening films.
Sure.
Of course, it's a precious platform where directors and actors, all these stars meet audience face to face.
Right.
But more than that, BIFF functions as a true launchpad, bringing together professionals and public institutions, producers, investors, everybody to create meaningful synergy. So it plays a crucial bridging roles, and especially between Asia, Europe, and America.
Yes.
So while the audiences may not always see this side of the festival, if it's closely tied to major industry programs like Asian Contents and Film Market, which brings thousands of film professionals from around the world to Busan every year.
Yes, yes. Such a huge industry, and it's growing every year from what I understand. Our next question I want to throw to Taegyosu님. What role does the Busan International Short Film Festival, BIFF, play in the film industry? For filmmakers, especially those who are just getting started?
Yeah, launched in 1980 as the Korea Short Film Festival.
Okay.
And this festival was expanded and rebranded as the Busan Asian Short Film Festival in 2000.
I see.
And after that, since 2010, it has grown into its current form as the Busan International Short Film Festival, the BIFF.
Yes.
The BIFF has been dedicated to discovering the potential of Korean short films and contributing to the development of the short film culture worldwide.
Yes, yes.
In 2018, BIFF became the Korea's first Oscar qualifying festival, each year providing one Korean filmmaker and one foreign filmmaker with the opportunity to submit their films for consideration to the Oscars competition.
Yes.
Yeah, BIFF successfully renewed this certification this year. In 2021, it further solidified its international standing by becoming an officially recognized qualifying festival for the Canadian Screen Awards and Spain's Goya Awards and the BAFTA of the UK since 2023.
Yes.
I saw the silver.
Our silver button?
Yes. The BIFF has hosted in 2021. BIFF was honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award. And currently, our channel has over 426,000 subscribers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And more than 300 million views, which is the highest level among major film festivals worldwide.
That's pretty amazing.
How was it possible? What's the secret of the
top secret?
Share with us off air.
After.
Can I just ask, how long does a short film have to be? So if I go like 30, 40 minutes, am I then?
Yeah, it's very complicated because there is no one rule or standard in the world. But normally in France, for example, there is a law specific for this, running time of the film. It's less than 60 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We can consider the short films. But in reality, the most of the film festivals for shorts is less than 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something.
See. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. It's a great question, by the way, Professor Andrew. Yes. So our next question is this. I want to talk about some of the challenges that are faced by the film industry now. And also, are there efforts to overcome these challenges? Songho, do you want to take this one?
Well, many people now recognize that Korean film industry is now suffering. We should be worried about this. Although the global film market has grown compared to the pre-pandemic era, Korea is still facing unique difficulties. Some people even say we are in a crisis just because no Korean film was invited to certain European festivals, which I don't agree with. But I believe the film industry has always evolved through crisis over the past century. Long before the rise of OTT platforms, we had to adapt to the emergence of color TV, for example, and other shifts. Korea is a culturally resilient country. I strongly believe in this.
Yes.
And tens of thousands of Korean film professionals are deeply engaged now in rethinking and reshaping the future. So that's why I believe we will continue to see more films that move audiences and offer new dreams and hopes, I believe.
Yes. You mentioned the OTT industry, and I remember if it was last year or the year prior, but BIFF seemed to kind of embrace also with the opening film, right, as well. And I thought, that's one way of dealing with what could be obviously competition, right?
Well, it was pretty much debatable. And
yes, it's really tough.
But some major film festivals tend to embrace these OTT platforms as part of it because we believe that the tendency of the audiences were shifted. But it is true that we foresee that there will be less and less audiences in the film industry in the next decade in Korea. But of course, there were many factors like the shifts in the demography and other factors. But so they might criticize like, oh well, people watch less films, which is not actually true. Actually, we are exposed to the moving images so much from internet and from the mobile devices to TVs and also big screens. So I believe that we are in a specific generation of watching maybe too many videos. But there must be some role that cinema can do because I believe that cinema was always like the frontier, especially in terms of bridging art and entertainment. So there's always something new.
Yes. I want to turn to Professor Andrew. How do you think film promotes cultural exchanges? Because obviously it's an art form, right? And once again, bridging, entertainment, art together. So what do you think?
So for me, I kind of interesting what Programmer Pak was just saying there about these days we have so many videos and the internet. We're sort of flooded with this information. But for me, really, when we're talking about movies and films, so when I was younger growing up without the internet, I'm showing my age now, films and this was the only way to really transport yourself to other countries. The only way to really see and experience the cultures of other countries. And it wasn't always through the stories. Obviously, the stories are very important for the movies. But for me, really, what is happening in the background is very important. In the background, you see what clothes people are wearing in that time period, what technologies there is, what food they eat. So, for example, Old Boy, you mentioned before the Korean mandu, very traditional, but for Western people, that's very new. So all of these things. And so when I watch a lot of movies, again, I'm always looking at the backgrounds. So, for example, there's a few English movies which are good. I don't know if you've heard of This Is England. This is a very famous, it was started off as a TV series and then became a movie, or maybe vice versa. But if you watch those movies, the background is set in 1980s England, and it's really about racism. So a lot of racist culture. And then, for example, if you look at Billy Elliot, everyone knows Billy Elliot as the dancing boy. But again, if you look at the background, it's set in the miners' strike in northern England.
That's right.
So again, you really understand the culture. And there's lots of movies, Slumdog Millionaire, which I know is more of a British movie, but it's based in India. And again, you really see the class divides, the poverty. Again, you get to see and experience that culture in a whole new way. So for me, that is how movies create these cultural exchanges.
So true. And it's not just about like experiencing different cultures. It really makes you think, don't you think? Like in terms of, wow, I've never thought of this. And seeing it in this context and seeing the background, the backdrop of how a film is set.
And I always sometimes I'll go back to old films I haven't seen for a long time, and you remember the technologies that you used to have in the past. So I think in Korea, was it 1980 뭐 기억해라? Is that right?
응답하라.
Sorry.
Yeah, 응답하라. Reply,
I think that one was quite famous because people were remembering what was in the past. Because again, you could see everything in the background.
Yes. Well, I want to turn to 대표님 Lima. So why do you think filmmakers are drawn to Busan to shoot? Because I mean, there, obviously Seoul, and there are many Gyeongju. There are many beautiful places all over Korea. But why Busan?
Yeah, I think first of all, it ties with maybe emerging of film festivals and how city of Busan decided that they're gonna grow this city as a film city. So of course, Busan has beautiful, diverse, dynamic backgrounds, including so many beaches and cityscape bridges and rivers. I mean, you name it. You can find mountains and all kinds of things. But biggest thing that benefits the film makers or producers to consider why they want to shoot in Busan is it has tied with a strong infrastructure and support from the city.
Yes.
So like Busan Film Commission is famous for doing great job, like among all the film commissions in other regions in Korea, and they support location scouting and also studio rentals, and also like even they give incentives that makes the production costs much lower than if they were to film somewhere else.
True.
So that's more realistic and also really practical reason why they choose. And also, of course, like I mentioned briefly, that we all know that Busan has urbanscape and also like beautiful nature, really right near the city, right near the infrastructure. I think that also benefits great deal. And also cultural aspect, how Busan citizens are quite friendly and also welcoming filming crews, and they're really friendly with that they're not really picky or like they don't complain so much about even traffic jams or sometimes. I think that's also very, very important for the filmmakers and producers, that they feel like they're not so rushed to do the job.
Yes. Thank you for sharing. I want to turn back to Cha Gyu-sunim and ask you about some of the challenges in especially with the film industry, obviously, but in the short films, I'm sure there are many hurdles, challenges, obstacles. So what do you think are some of the biggest ones right now?
Yeah, besides the rapid rise of the OTT platform, streaming platform, nowadays I have an impression that there is a very big change caused by AI in the cinema field. Of course, there is not all of the cinema field until now.
Yes.
But for example, in the university, we started to teach the utilization of the AI for filmmaking. It's very new phenomenon.
Right.
So nobody can, estimate the future of the cinema with AI. But there is nowadays there are being a strong discussions about this.
Yes.
So I think this is the very big challenge for me. Yeah.
Because AI, is undeniably a force that we can't ignore. We can't just say, we can't put it on the back burner. It's something that's already here. So great point that you make, Professor, about having to deal with AI, even in short films and just filmmaking in general. So now I want to go back to programmer Park Sung-woo, behind the scenes of preparing for BIFF, because people are like, at this point, there are real fans of BIFF, right? People want to know, like, how early do the preparations begin? What does it involve? Because every time I see, for example, you or some of the other programmers, we feel bad even asking you to come in during BIFF week or the week prior, because we know you have lack of sleep and, you're just really, really stressed out, right? So how does it begin?
Well, it begins actually year-round.
Yes.
Planning for BIFF starts almost a year in advance. We do lots of research and gather information, watch hundreds of films, curate lineups, organize forums, secure jurors, and prepare hospitality for guests. It's a massive coordination and orchestrated coordination effort involving programming, marketing, logistics, and partnerships. Well, some people, including my own mother and fellow filmmakers, asked me why it took so long to prepare for a film festival. Because it takes 1 year to do the 10 days event. But yes, it's like I compare this with filmmaking or any other big things because, to produce a 2-hour film, it can take 5 years or 7, even 10 years.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a very time-consuming work.
Indeed. And when you are picking the films, like I can't imagine having to be on the panel where you're having to choose the films because I'm sure there are many submissions. So what criteria or standards do you use to choose the films to invite them to the festival?
Well, for me, it's for any programmer, I think it's a very difficult thing to do because we have to make the best decision as much as possible. And I'm always scared if I make any mistakes. So it's a very stressful job.
Yes.
And for me, honestly, it's easier for me because I'm not covering Korean films, but I'm covering Southeast Asian or West Asian films and short films as well. So I watch lots of films from each country and consider what would be the best that reflects the most recent trends or which might open new trends. So it's all about the originality and strong cinematic voice, both artistically and socially.
Yes.
And also we consider geographical and gender diversity. And for newcomers, we look for boldness and authenticity. For established filmmakers, we examine how their new work contributes to ongoing film conversation.
I see.
Yeah. So lots of factors.
Yes.
So can I ask, do you just open for submissions? Or do you have a set list which you choose from that list?
We do. We always open our submission from around March to June or July.
And during that time, roughly how many?
Yes, that was going to be my next question.
For example, for short films, we receive more than 3,000 or sometimes more than 4,000 submissions to choose the best 20-some films.
Wow.
So that's why you can't sleep. Because you have to watch them all.
One of them. I understand that because for the BIFF, this year, for example, we have received 5,000 films from 130 countries. So the committee of the pre-selection, the programmers, they didn't sleep for 2 months or something.
Yes. Oh my goodness. What? Thank you for asking the question because I was curious too. How many are submitted? And we hear about the final number every year, but I'm sure the vetting process, as you said, is so difficult. Yes. So I want to turn to Professor Millard. In Europe. And I know you don't represent all of Europe, but generally speaking, you're our representative today. How is the film culture in Europe, or let's say, in England, different from, let's say, Hollywood or even South Korea?
So I'm not a film expert by any means, but generally, I think when we look at European films, they tend to be much more independent. I mean, obviously, still, if you go to the UK, you have Pinewood Studios, the big studios, which produces Mission Impossible, Harry Potter's, things like that.
Yes.
But generally in Europe, you find a lot more independent films, which are therefore low budget, and they tend to be more local oriented. So they focus more on the local cultures, the local stories, using local actors, often dialects and things like that. So a good example would be a film called Trainspotting, which I think most people know.
Right.
One of the most famous.
So older generation.
Old generation as well. Yes, that's
might be
another
a bad generation. So.
But this one, I think the budget was £1.5 million, which is about 25억, which was very small.
Yes.
But it's now become one of the most famous films ever.
True.
So in Europe, I would say independent, a little bit more arty, less blockbuster. I think that would be the best way.
Yes. And do you think that even, bringing, it back to your line of expertise, do you think film festivals can be used even as maybe diplomatic tools?
Oh, for sure. So for diplomacy, basically we're looking at creating any sort of channel for communication. Because once we start communicating, then we start understanding each other, and then we can develop good relations. So through film festivals, and I've been to, not so much recently, but definitely last year, the past couple of years, in the film center, there's been many film festivals, so South America, Africa, Canada, Maritime, quite a lot. And in all of these different film festivals, we see a lot of diplomats also coming. So a lot of consuls, a lot of ambassadors. So they're coming, again, they're creating these relationships, even though it's on a relatively small level. From there, you can help build up the more political relationships.
Yes, yes. And now I want to turn to 대표님, Lima. What does Busan look like, do you think, or how is Busan portrayed in other media content beyond film? Because there are so many different types of media content out there.
Yeah. So, like, just on top of my head, when I think about Busan films or how Busan is portrayed, is usually somewhat related to crime or a thriller. A lot especially in the movie industry, film industry. It was more likely before, and then it's maybe changing more recently. It's portraying a lot more diverse things, but I guess that is somewhat maybe related to how people think about Busan. When they think about Busan, what represents Busan is pretty much like a strong dialect and toughness and somewhat manlyhood culture because of port and because of how working class like grew up after the Korean War, how the city had to sort of like build up, grow fast, all that kind of thing. So I see like even urban scape, often they like to film like a more sketchy area, like Gwangbok area, or like a Gamcheon cultural heritage, or a village, or Yeongdo kind of, like what we consider as not like a more residential area of Busan, but where it has nostalgic history or the story to it. But recently, like I noticed that in even music videos or recent films, they like to capture more fancy side, like Haeundae, Marine City.
Right.
Gwangan Bridge. Apparently, Gwangan Bridge was the most filmed landmark in Busan. It was filmed a lot more than any other parts of Busan. So I guess that also represents that Busan has such a diversity. So it's hard to pick on one characteristics of Busan, but because it has so many different kinds. But I think it can even grow more because there are so many little corners.
If you need some residence shots, then you can come to my house anytime.
Awesome.
Quite cheap.
Good to know. Yeah, we should promote that to the filmmakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. I do want to read just a few of the many messages that have come in because people are really just taking it in. They're drinking it in, what we're talking about right now. So first up, we have 어리 바리님 who says, BIFF에서 영화 크레딧이 다 올라갈 때까지 불 안 켜고 문화 정말 인상 깊었어요. So to paraphrase, basically, the idea that you stay seated, out of respect until the very last of the credits go up on the film. They say that it was very, it touched them, it moved them. And I love that idea. And that's actually a rule for our family. I kind of have to force them, like, stay until the very end. Whether you like the movie or not, we stay till the end. Because it's kind of like every last person that worked on a film, I mean, we want to give them, their applause, right? Any thoughts on this comment?
Actually, we turn on the lights like 20% or 30%.
Like slightly.
Yeah, but I know that the most, like 70-80%, I don't have the statistics, but most audiences at BIFF remain seated until the end of the ending credit, which shows their respect to the filmmakers.
Exactly.
But also, if we completely turn off the lights, that also people complain because some people has to go to toilet or to another screening. So we little bit turn off
20% slightly.
We give you choices.
Yes.
What I like is sometimes, not always, but especially comedy films, they start the credits and then you're surprised by an outtake or something. So I'm always happy when you get those little extra bits.
Right. And then we have one more comment that I'm going to read from Leslie, who says, the first foreign film that I saw with subtitles was a movie called Europa, and this began my love of foreign films. And like the whole idea of the the subtitles. To get over that so-called wall, it might, be difficult for some, but nowadays I think it's much more acceptable, no? The subtitles? Yes?
So I think so.
Yeah.
I'm 100% subtitles.
You're behind it, right?
Overdubbing,
Yes.
I prefer subtitles.
Yeah. of
Yes,
course,
yes.
Yeah, always.
Well, I do want to get to our final question, okay? And I'm going to throw it to all of you. How do you think Busan became a city of cinema, a city of film? And what's the path forward for Busan? So we're going to begin with Professor Millard.
Okay.
You're on the spot. Here we go.
Spot,
Yes.
Okay, so for me, really, I think once they built the cinema center and we had that focal point that
Yes.
everything could come back to, again, we could start those annual film festivals and the smaller film festivals throughout the year. For me, I think that's what started the longevity of the film culture in Busan.
Yes, yes. Thank you. So now we're going to go to Lima 대표님. So if you had to say succinctly, what would you say?
I think it started with Busan Film Festival and how City of Busan committed that this is going to be the industry for Busan. And
right.
It ties really well with, like I said, characteristic of Busan that already has so many diversity and beautiful backgrounds. And I think for the future, like we briefly mentioned about the future of Korean film industry, if Busan were to be more of a center of a whole, throughout the Asia, more of a hub of a film industry, I think it can take what something like somewhere like Toronto is using. Toronto is considered as Hollywood North, and then numerous films are shot there instead of U.S. locations because it's cheaper, and also it's also government support from Ontario province and also City of Toronto.
Yes,
and the notion. So I think Busan, like I said earlier, residential area, even residential area, or any parts of park or mountains and rivers. Like I said, Busan has so many beautiful different dynamic corners that can be used as a film location. And if instead of shooting other parts, but if Busan can be the hub of that. Also, I heard that they're building a huge studio in Gijang. So indoor studio is also a big thing because not all the films can be shot in the location. So that could really help for the growth of film industry in Busan.
And now I'm going to turn our attention to 차 교수님 짧게 마무리를 하자면요.
Yes, I think that I agree with Lima because Busan has the abundant infrastructure and political support from the city.
Yes.
And we should focus on the human resources, especially local human resources.
Yes.
That's the last important thing to continue to this city of cinema.
All right, and for a programmer, Park, what would you say?
Well, basically, Busan is a UNESCO designated city of Busan. And among the city of films, Busan is the chair city.
Yes.
And also,
member.
and we have Korean Film Council in Busan.
Yes.
One of the best governmental institutions supporting filmmakers in the world. And also, we have the top educational institution, KAFA, Korean Academy of Fine Arts.
Sure.
But these, besides of these public institutions, I believe the true driving force in Busan is the people.
The people.
Yes.
The passion, the attitude. But they don't seem to know about this, but they are actually very passionate about films and everything.
Thank you for joining us today, all of you, the panelists. So we do have to wrap up. So for the listeners out there, the program was created with funding from Busan Metropolitan City's Regional Broadcast Development Support Program. 이 프로그램은 부산광역시 지역방송발전지원 사업 보조금을 지원받아 제작한 것입니다. So please join us on Monday. Have a great one. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
한국전쟁 당시 우리를 먼저 도운 에티오피아 6천여 명의 군인들은 자신들의 월급을 모아 부모 잃은 아이들을 위해 고아원이라는 고아원도 세워주었습니다.